Want to be able to give you guys some information tonight about our AP programming in general, but then also give you the opportunity to hear from some of our superstar Sandberg teachers to give you a little more background about what students can expect, how students can be most ready for that Sandberg experience in honors and AP courses. Give me one. I'm going to share my screen quickly here. There we go. All right, so before we get started with our teachers this evening, I want to introduce each of them. So have the fortunate opportunity tonight to be here with 4 Sandberg teachers. From our English department, we have Miss Ramona Kovacevic, Miss Anna McBride, also from our English department, one of our freshman honors English teachers, Miss Gail Anchek from our math department, and Mr. Jeff Brigham from our social studies department. So, Mr. Brigham, can you see my screen as I'm sharing here? Got it. All right, so just a little bit of background about our honors and AP offerings. We have 29 courses at the honors level and 23 course offerings at the AP level. So most of our AP offerings are kind of sprinkled towards the end of the Sandberg experience, the junior and senior years, but we do have some freshman and sophomore options that are good options for students to really set the table for them to be successful later on in their AP experiences. Last year, 2020, Dr. Tyrell mentioned this a little bit, still a pretty impressive year, a really impressive year for our students, despite all that 2020 has thrown at us related to AP programs. So we had 1,063 students last year pass, I think, 1,874 exams. 72% of those, almost 3 out of every 4 exams, even with what last spring was like for many students, still had an exam score of 3 or better. So really impressive stuff, something that we're definitely proud of here at Sandberg. I like to say a lot of our students aren't just college ready, they're actually college performing while they're here at Sandberg. And I love that often many of those students are college performing at the end of their 9th grade year, the end of their freshman year. So pretty cool stuff. Our offerings in these departments for honors and AP are English, math, music, science, social studies, world language. Most of our academic departments have some honors or AP offerings. As far as the freshman year, what does honors or AP look like for a class of 25 students? So freshman honors English is an offering within the English department. Honors integrated math, that could be honors integrated math 1 if the student's coming from a junior high where they didn't take honors math 1 in 8th grade. We do have a good bank of students that often take honors math 1 at the 8th grade level. So it could be honors 1 or honors math 2. Honors biology in our science department, AP World History and Honors Global Issues in our social studies department. AP World History is probably the more predominant choice for students in that regard. And I know Mr. Brigham will tell you a little bit about why a little later on. And then in our World Languages program, honors courses are offered at level 2 and level 3, but they aren't offered at the level 1 level. Okay, so want to get into, not me talking about some of the stats, but get into hearing from some of our teachers. So we have 4 kind of talking points for this evening. I'll kind of moderate the conversation. If you want to put questions in the chat, I'll try to get there. If I'm not able to get there, I'll hopefully be able to follow up with you on our website or through some other avenue to kind of get you to the answers to some of those questions. So first question to lead off, and I'll throw this over to Ramona in the English department. When you think about successful students in your freshman honors courses, what are the attributes of that those students have?
Well, students who find success in freshman honors are students that are strong readers. We see kids that come in with strong reading and writing abilities. These are kids that have the grit and the determination to follow through with the reading assignments and the writing assignments. Those are really the successful students. They are motivated, they love to read, they love to think, and they want to express themselves in both mediums. They're comfortable with the written word.
Got it, thank you. Ms. McBride, want to follow up with that in the English department?
Sure, I would agree with everything that Mrs. Kovacevic said. I would also say that they're curious beyond the numeric value of a grade. And that's really where the most successful students kind of differentiate themselves from their peers. Constantly asking questions and wanting feedback, and not just wanting the, well, okay, bottom line, what's my grade?
Got it, thank you. What about in the math department, Ms. Anchek?
yes, I'll kind of piggyback on that also. I think one of the biggest attributes students can have is a disciplined work habit. If they're willing to put in the work, if they are disciplined enough to have their homework done the night before, to walk into class prepared, they'll find a lot more success than those that don't have those disciplined work habits. And like Ms. McBride said, if their goal is true understanding, then those skills will last longer. So again, if they're not looking for just the letter grade, if their goal is true understanding of the concepts, they're going to have a lot more success in all 4 of their years. To me, that first bullet point connects to the third bullet point, because if their goal is true understanding, they're going to link all of those skills to those AP courses that come in their senior year.
And I love a lot of those points, and a lot of those ideas. Those lessons are stacked or threaded throughout our curriculum. So really having a true understanding in one course is learning and skills and ideas that students are going to tote with them to the next course. So I appreciate that for sure. Mr. Brigham.
I don't know, they all stole the good stuff. So, but I would definitely say curiosity, like Ms. McBride said, just a willingness to want to learn the material. And I think what Ms. Anchek said is probably the biggest thing. I'm still struggling with my freshmen this year on that is don't get blocked by the grade. Okay, grades will come. Learning's got to come first. I still have too many students, and I know as parents that you guys, want to focus on the grade too. But trust me, if you're in this track, the grades will not matter as much as the skills they're going to learn, as Mr. Smith said at the beginning, in terms of they're performing at college levels by the time they're seniors. So that's really important. I think this year, even more than anything, with the way we've unfortunately had to be teaching vaccine soon. You probably won't have to deal with this, but I've noticed that, like, with the kids being isolated and stuff, those kids that just can get out of their comfort area and learn independently and take what we give them and go out on their own are also incredibly successful. So.
Thank you, Mr. Brigham. Let's have you kind of jump in on the next one. So when you think about AP World History, what do students find engaging? What's it about that course that students really are excited about?
I would hope it'd be the history, but we don't sell it that way. We've got 3 full teachers now. We have 270 students this year. It's the largest group that we've ever had, which is fabulous. We've got a new teacher. She's not new to teaching, but she's new to Sandburg this year. And she says y'all, so that's got to be engaging. So that's outstanding. But we have been doing this for a long time. My other colleague and I have been doing this now for 12 years. And I think it's our love to just engage the students in learning things they've never learned before. Not only the history, but I sell it on the skills that they're going to learn, that they're college level skills. Freshmen taking an AP class is still very unusual. It's growing. It's gotten bigger. There was a time when we started this that we were the only ones in the state of Illinois doing this, but just the fact that they get pushed to a higher level than they've ever been pushed before. And once they get over that fear of being pushed, I think they really kind of buy into the whole process. So.
Mrs. McBride, what about you? What's engaging in freshman honors English?
Oh, there's a lot of reading, and different students find different texts more or less engaging, but I think the idea that they are developing their critical thinking skills through the reading is something that is most engaging for them, is that they can look at it as like whatever they're reading as a puzzle, and then and try to place that into the context of their understanding of the world. So our curriculum covers kind of classics in terms of literature, but also, the focus on the skills, like this is what we're going to take out of this and go into sophomore year and junior AP with and senior AP with. And as Mr. Brigham said, like in this environment this year, something that we're trying to work in, but that is normally or traditionally engaging, is working with their peers and interacting with their peers to talk about all of these the pieces of literature, but also when we get to debating and looking at contemporary issues and how we learn about them and how we talk about them with our peers. I think they find that engaging as well.
So taking some of the components that you might be reading about in a text, but then thinking about how that applies to, what we might be going through out in the world today. So really good stuff. Romana, what about you? Anything to add to that freshman honors English experience?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Miss McBride covered the majority of it, but I think also to add to it, I think what the kids love is the fact that, yes, we have classics. I mean, they will definitely get a solid classic base starting with freshman honors, but we tie so much of it with modern literature and modern themes that their eyes are just open when they find those connections. And I think one of the things that they absolutely love is to find not just that connection, but their voice in expressing their opinion and being able to back it up with those connections. And I think once they realize those skills and really hone and develop those skills and are able to use them, their eyes are just opened and they love that. So
if you hang out with me at all, I reflect on my own high school experience a lot. But that note you just hit there, Romana, as far as I can remember where I was in this building when I was like, oh my gosh, I can make my own argument. I can find my evidence and I can support it. And it was like, it's just such a big part of, my own learning. And I love knowing that our students are doing the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm shifting from some Englishy type stuff to Ms. Zanchek in the math department. What do students find engaging in your courses, Gail?
Well, I will say that my freshmen in Honors Math 2 are walking into class with the Odyssey in their hand. So they are engaged in the Odyssey right now, and they're talking about it in class. So they are engaged in that. What I enjoy in our math curriculum, we have recently transitioned from traditional honors algebra, honors geometry, honors pre-calculus, to now we are teaching honors math 1, honors math 2, and honors math 3, which is a vague title. But what I enjoy about the curriculum and what I hope they find engaging is because it's integrated, they'll learn a topic. For example, honors math 1 just finished a unit on solving inequalities, and now they move to using those inequalities in triangle applications. So I'm hoping they see the connection in the math rather than being such a rigid division of courses between algebra and geometry. Now that it is integrated, I hope that they see the application of the algebra that they learn and then they use it in geometry. So I'm hoping they're engaged in that.
You brought it up in the first question, Gail, kind of that link between attributes and then the course link to AP courses and college readiness. So maybe just expound on that a little bit from the freshman year perspective.
Absolutely. So that most of our freshmen, like you say, start in Honors Math 1, or a few of them start in Honors Math 2, and then transition to Honors Math 3. All of those courses are the prerequisite skills that they'll need for AP Calculus and for their AP Math classes. So again, the more their goal can be for true understanding, even starting in freshman year, they need those skills. I refer in my AP Calculus classes almost on a daily basis. Oh, we just talked about this in Honors Math 2 today. So they need those skills for the bigger things that we're doing in calculus. So the more they can understand what they're doing in 8th grade and use those skills freshman year and continue adding to those skills, it's also cumulative. They will use it in AP Calculus as well.
Mr. Brigham, I know you teach AP US history as well. So you're able to kind of see a lot of students cycle through from that freshman AP World experience, and they return to you in some cases that junior year. How do you see that link between AP World and AP US history?
Invaluable, and even more so. I am lucky enough to now teach with Miss McBride in AP American Studies. So it's the combination of all those things. Miss McBride and I had an unbelievably talented class last year. And this year, when I said about those things about just independent learning and stuff, when I look at the difference this year between our juniors who, have gone through this now, they're having a much easier time going through this course than the freshmen, obviously, because unfortunately I don't get that daily contact with the freshmen that freshmen kind of need. And again, hopefully we'll have again next year at the beginning of the year. So, but all the writing is the same, and so if they take English when they're freshmen, honors English when they're freshmen, and they take AP World, and then they get to their junior year, they're going to find the classes, to be honest with you, easy. So it's priceless to take the whole roll of them. So.
Anna, we'll kick it over to you since you're hanging with Mr. Brigham, maybe doing some planning with current courses. So yeah, jump in.
Yeah, so I mean, I would agree. I think with junior AP language and composition, which is the junior English class, we do focus a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot more heavily on nonfiction writing and reading. So analyzing essays, speeches, etc., but also then placing it in context. So we're taking all of these skills that we've worked on freshman and sophomore years with literature, and then looking at, as you mentioned earlier, like the real life connection. Okay, so we've seen how authors employ these different things in short stories, poems, and novels. But now let's look at how are people in the real world applying these writing skills, and then how can we also apply them to our own communication, whether it be writing, speaking, etc. And then making the connection with the social studies classes, I think is really important, because they can see the overlap of it. It's a skill. It's something I'm using in multiple areas of my life. It's not just this is what the syllabus says. It's this is what I'm really taking out of this and bringing forward. And I would also, kind of connect to what you said in terms of, we experienced the students at Sandburg and really internalizing it and taking it into college and feeling like I can do this. I walk into college and I feel confident. I felt confident, and it's because of these types of experiences that we're offering, I think.
No, I agree. I always love when we often hear from students, right, when they come back, and whether it's their freshman comp class or Math 120 down at U of I or whatever those incoming classes are. And I love when they tell us, oh my gosh, we're felt so prepared for what they're experiencing at the college level. So Ramona, I know you have a little bit of different lens. You're not necessarily teaching junior AP, but I know like a lot of your work, I've had the opportunity to be in your classroom. You really do a nice job of kind of talking to kids, even freshman year, about what those skills are, what they're learning in your class that are going to kind of be important later on.
Yeah, definitely. Freshman year is the baseline. We set the foundation for them with just grammar, vocab, reading, writing, analysis, all of those things that we see every single year. Freshman, sophomore year, we teach those skills so that junior, senior year, they're successful in those AP classes. So, and those are skill sets. I mean, it's not just learning a particular novel, it's learning how to read a particular piece of literature and analyze it, think about it. And I think that those are skills that transfer. We hear from the kids that they transfer to just about every level and every skill down the road. So it's so important for them to take that freshman year, even if it's a challenge, to take that challenge and to really stretch themselves. And that's how they're going to grow. So yeah, a lot of our kids find success when they hit that grit and they want to challenge themselves, and then they take a look at those skills and work them. So.
Love it. We'll keep going the reverse snake order I've been going, almost like a fantasy football draft here. I'll throw it down. So if you think about, Ramona, how can students prepare? We're in kind of mid 8th grade year. What can students do between now and August 2021 to kind of be prepared for freshman honors English?
Freshman honors English, be comfortable with the written word. Take a book in your hand and read it. And the more they read, the better they will be prepared, because they will grab that vocab, they will understand syntax, and they're just going to be comfortable expressing ideas and understanding them. Pro tip, at the end of the school year, their 8th grade school year, they will get a letter if they're in the honors program about the summer reading. We do have a summer reading that they take a look at. Our most successful kids are the ones that come in having read that book, having annotated that book, and are ready to learn from day one. So watch out for that reading letter. Have your kids read the book that's assigned to them and annotate, take notes, ask them questions about the book when they're reading it this summer, and just ask them to tell you, what is it about? What do you think about it? And have them jot down their ideas so they remember it. Those are honestly our most successful kids, because then they come in on the first day of school with that book in hand and they are bursting to talk about it. So, and it's truly an exciting time those first few weeks then.
Ramona, we had a little question in chat. Could you kind of speak to what's the volume of that summer reading for that assignment?
So typically the kids we will give them 2 or 3 novels from which to pick from. So like last summer, they had a choice to read either Unbroken or Beneath the Scarlet Sky. So they have one novel that they read, and then typically we will give them one nonfiction piece like Little Book of Talent, which will help get them ready for a skill set and for a growth mindset when they hit high school.
Got it.
Yeah.
Anna, anything to add through the freshman honors English prep?
No, I mean, I think just reading a lot is obviously helpful for building their vocabulary and also for comprehension reasons. But like, I think the most organic and most successful students, or the way to do that is through the reading books that they want to read. Yes, we'll give them a summer reading assignment and it'll be worthwhile, but seeking out a variety of different types of reading that suit what they're interested in, I think is important as well.
Got it. Thanks. Gail, what about you for integrated math?
Let's see, probably the biggest skill that they need to keep practicing is their study habits, their work habits. Make sure they're keeping up on homework every day at the 8th grade level. Make sure that they're working to understanding as much as they can participate in class, feel comfortable participating in class. This is a very challenging time for us if they're not in the school building as often as they typically are. So as much as parents can be talking to their sons and daughters, are you keeping up on your homework? Are you understanding the homework rather than just doing it? If you're able to have a math conversation with them at home, if older brothers and sisters are able to have a conversation with them at home, and really make sure that they're understanding what they're doing, not just getting the work done to get it done. So the more they can, those disciplined habits for homework and really having conversations to make sure they're keeping up on the material, because they will need that material for next year.
You've talked a lot tonight about what I would say like the moves that matter, right? The stuff that's not necessarily linked to a point, but the moves that matter for students to kind of earn those points because they're doing the right stuff. So really good ideas. Jeff, how about you in AP World as far as prep wise?
Well, normally at this point, I would say get out into the world and explore, but pandemic. But I would say number one, don't, I'm sure that 8th grade's tough right now, especially with hybrid learning and being online, but just don't let your the skills that you've built up kind of degrade before you get to school next year. And obviously reading's always good. So any kind of reading, obviously if you're reading English books, that's fine. Building your vocabulary, doesn't matter what you read, but just be curious and come in with a positive framework. I've been answering a lot of the Q&As down here. People are asking like, what's required to get in? We've literally gotten rid of our requirement for AP World. It's just a will to succeed and a want to learn. Okay. You can't come in and want to do nothing and be successful at it. But if you want to come in, read the book, which is a very easy book to read in terms of the amount of pages and stuff, and you just come prepared to class every day, you'll be fine. Okay. I haven't been able to answer like what the requirements are to get into honors English, honors math, and honors science, but that's the requirement. So, and I will just put in a side note. One person said they wanted to take English, science, and math. And I would say you want to take AP World if you're a freshman at Carl Sandburg High School. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, but
you're not biased though. You're not biased.
I'm not at all.
So winding down on time, just a few minutes left. I'll try to kind of, I'm not on my home court with the computer here, which I always value. So I finally was able to see some of the questions in chat. So yeah, the requirements for placement and how do students jump into these classes? The honors and AP courses we referenced tonight are sort of part of that regular placement process. So we normally look at test scores, teacher recommendations, and kind of information from the partner schools. This year we don't have the test scores, so we're kind of looking at teacher recommendations, some of the grade information. But in the full group session that I talked about family input and student input. So your voice and the student's voice and like their desire or like their want to, some of the background that might not come out in the regular recommendation process. We have communication channels. We have opportunities for families and students to kind of engage with our division chairs to kind of talk about some of those things and make the case if needed that they want to take an honors or AP course. So we have a placement recipe that we feel really good about. Our students year to year really do well and excel in the courses they're placed into. And sometimes there might be something from an initial placement that we didn't have information about. So we encourage you to kind of engage with that family input layer. AP Math and Science, those that's another question in the chat. Those come out usually junior or senior year. So AP Bio, AP Physics 1, AP Physics C, Mechanics, Electricity and Magnetism, Chemistry. So a myriad of options in the AP Sciences. So a lot of our high flying students are stacking a few of those science electives in their junior and senior year. Can you take honors or AP classes without having taken honors in junior high? Absolutely. We have a lot of students who have done that and who have done very well. And, I'm sure, getting A's in honors English, getting A's in integrated math, maybe even toting some college credit out of their freshman year with Mr. Brigham in the North Building without having the honors experience in middle school. So let me see if there's anything else that I've missed in the chat. Yeah, is there going to be a placement test? We won't have the formal placement test this year through College Board. So that initial course placement will be based on, Teacher X, some of the teacher, the student grade information and collaboration with our partner schools, and then really collaboration with students and families as well. We want you guys, and we think everyone has an opportunity to express their own voice, give their own input in that placement process. So. All right, well, we are winding down here on time. Thanks for dealing with some of the technical blips with me at the start and my alternative Zoom identity that's on the screen right now. But round of applause out there in OP virtual land to our teachers for being here tonight. So thank you, Ramana. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Anna, for taking some time this evening, connecting with our families and sharing your expertise. And I can't wait to see where the class of 25 ends up and have them being around the halls and the classrooms of Sandburg next year doing great stuff. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
See you soon.